Well, how did the terrorists manage to fly those planes at the Trade Center? Nick Gregory is also a pilot, and he's got some answers. Nick.
Well, Rosanna, these airplanes, of course, that hit the World Trade Center originated in Boston. And the original flight plan out of Boston would bring these planes up over southern New Hampshire and Vermont, and then out over upstate New York. At some point during that flight is, of course, when the hijackers took over. Now, I want to show you a picture of a cockpit of a 757 that we have here. And what's interesting in the design that Boeing had on these aircraft, the 757 and the 767, they are very similar in design. The cockpits are almost identical. The type of systems are identical. The only thing that really differs are the size of the engines and the size of the cabin, the 767 being a wider aircraft. Now, as you look at the cockpit here, up in this position, this is the autopilot controls all up through here, and some of the radio controls. The controls that the pilots would hand fly the airplane are over here. This is the thrust levers, or the power levers as they're referred to. And also what you can see right down in this corner here, these two little green screens are the navigation systems. Now, when these planes depart their airports, the flight crews will put in the flight plan into these little flight computers, and just after takeoff, they'll engage the autopilot up in here, as the way Boeing really designed these airplanes is for the autopilot to fly the majority of the time with the pilots monitoring the systems all along the way. Now, at some point in the flight, when the terrorists made their move, they would have to be knowledgeable, really, of how to disengage the autopilot up in this system and reprogram the navigation system to their choice, and then fly the airplane actually by hand. Now, that's no easy task. A very close friend of mine is a Boeing 757 pilot, and recently I had the opportunity to sit in a couple of his training classes and actually fly the simulator for about an hour and a half. And I got to use the autopilot, and I got to hand fly the airplane, and I can tell you that that is not done without some experience. So they had to be some knowledge in how to work these flight controls in these systems to get the airplane to fly in towards the New York City area and the World Trade Center, of course, given the fact that they were originally programmed to fly into the Los Angeles area. So again, there definitely seems to be, in my opinion, some knowledge on these hijackers as to actually how to fly the Boeing 757, Rosanna and Harry.